Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to show y'all my new squirrel rifle. This is a Savage B22G, and today I just want to go over why I chose it, do an overview generally on the rifle, and then we're going to take this thing out to 50 yards with several types of 22 ammo and see what it prefers to go hunting with. So the rifle itself, it took me a little while to find this particular variant, but I saw the B22G online and I love the wooden stock. I saw it in person and I liked it even more. I think they knocked it out of the park. This is a hardwood stock. As you can see, it is definitely a little bit more modern than the Mark II variants. You have great texturing here on the palm well. Speaking of which, look at how deep that groove is and how that grip comes down instead of being a little bit flatter. I like that. I prefer shooting that way. And then you have these indentions up here. Gives you really good purchase even if you're in inclement weather. That's not going anywhere. The bottom of this is also flat, so good for bench shooting and accuracy. This is a thinner sporter barrel, which makes sense on this particular rifle. This is kind of the hunting variant, the woods variant. It's a bolt action 22. You're not building up a whole lot of heat, so you don't have to be as concerned about, heat expanding the barrel and things of that nature like you would with other sporter rifles that are shooting hotter rounds. The only complaint I really have is that, and it's not really a big complaint, this is a blued barrel, and in the past with some of Savage's blued barrels, I have noticed that they aren't quite as resistant to corrosion as others out there. So just make sure you keep a light kit of oil on it basically when you get done in the woods. I really wish this was Parkerized, or I'd love if this was Cerakoted. I might just do that myself. That's really the only thing missing. It's also a free floating barrel, which will help with accuracy, and something you don't see a lot on small 22s. It's got a barrel nut, which also tends to help with accuracy as well. That's really neat to see. That's something they do on their larger rifles. And if you shot Savage like I have, you know they're accurate, especially for their price points. I've owned several and I've been very, very happy with them. Overall though, one of the big things they did that's different is this 10 round magazine. It is a 10-22 rotary style mag. However, it's not compatible with 10-22 mags. You will have to get the Savage variant. Now, there are complaints that this is difficult to load. Personally, I haven't found that to be as much the case, but that could also be because I have very limited experience loading the 10-22 mags, and I mean, I think this is fine. I didn't have an issue. You're not going to be flying through bullets with this thing in my mind, or at least I'm not when squirrel hunting, so if it takes an extra couple seconds to load, not the end of the world for me. Overall though, you have a very nice action here. It's not going to be as nice as, say, a Tikka, CZ, or a Bagara, but for the price point, it is certainly smooth enough. Has very tight tolerances overall. There's just a little bit of play in that bolt, but overall, actions relatively smoothly. Speaking of the bolt handle, it is larger and it is textured, so once again, inclement weather is not going to be an issue. You get a good purchase on this thing, and having it be a little bit longer, a little fatter, makes it easier to cycle the bolt as needed. I think it's a very good size for the class. So this thing's really competing with Winchester Expert 22 and the Ruger American Rimfire, and I think it does a good job within that class and that price point, especially given the variants. But I'm excited for this thing. A couple other things you get: the Accu trigger. Some people hate it. I love them. I've had Accu triggers since, oh goodness, the original Savage Axis, maybe? Maybe the second one. I forget exactly. Anyway, I've had a lot of rifles with them. These things for the price are incredible. I think this one's shooting about 2 pounds, super light, super crisp, no uptake whatsoever. It's a really nice trigger on this rifle. You also get the higher comb right here, which is great if you have the iron sights, which this comes equipped from the factory for. But with low ring mounts, you get a very short, compact package, which I prefer. And you get a good cheek weld when coming to this optic, and you come right to it. I found that with this little Bushnell 3x9x32, I think, and this particular comb right here, I'm able to get this rifle up and get situated very quickly compared to some of the other 22s I currently own. The only other few things, you do get a metal trigger guard, which you usually don't see on a rifle like this, and you have the ambidextrous safety right here at the top of the tank. I love that, and I wish every rifle, shotgun, you name it, had it right there. That's where it should be. And once again, lots of texture, so it's easy to operate. Well, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get this thing loaded with some rounds, get a couple targets set up, and let's see just how accurate it is. So up first, we're going to have this Federal Range Pack, really cheap bulk ammo, but I got a lot of it. 5 rounds, we're going to take the best 4 shots, omit the worst shot. All right, there's 5. Up next, we have the Winchester Tallow Target and Small Game Hunting 22s. This one does not like to feed very well. Now we're at the Federal Auto Match 40 grains. Up next, we have Norma TAC 22. We're going to be going to the lower right target. CCI AR Tactical, copper-plated round nose. Now we're on to CCI Mini Mag. Armscore Precision. Unfortunately, my audio equipment died, but these last rounds are going to be the Aguila Hollow Point High Velocity. Finally done with the 50-yard accuracy test with the Savage B22. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Federal Range Pack. It performed pretty decently at 0.94 inches. Once again, I shot 5 rounds, and I'm taking the 4 best shots out of the 5. So, anything under an inch at 50 yards is going to be fine, I think, for squirrel hunting, especially considering most of my shots for squirrels are usually 35 yards or so or less. Winchester Tallow, one of today's worst performers, wide group at 1.22 inches. Federal Auto Load, really surprising performance, but had a fantastic group, several touching with 0.43 inches. Norma TAC 22 did pretty well, not the best, but 0.72, you could definitely still use that for some squirrel hunting. Another surprise, but CCI AR Tactical had a fantastic group at 0.46, followed by CCI Mini Mag at 3/4 of an inch. A little surprised by that, but still not terrible. Will be plenty for those squirrels. And finally, the best one today was the Armscore Precision, the only precision round that I shot, with 0.38 inches. Really impressive at 50 yards, considering the hunting situation or the shooting situation I was in today. And then finally, Aguila HP Extra, worst group of the day at 1.32 inches, and that was that 38 grain bullet, the only one of those. Well, guys, that's going to be it for me today, but I do hope y'all enjoyed taking a look at this Savage B22. I really like this rifle, and I'm very happy with its performance. Can't wait to take it squirrel hunting in the future. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like it, or even some squirrel hunting, please make sure to share, like, subscribe for more, and as always, thanks for watching.